Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I just wanted to do this little video in regards to I've never seen so many Christmas trees before the holiday season even starts. Seattle and the West Coast, but probably I'll just lump the whole West Coast together, but definitely in the Pacific Northwest and Seattle, it's not the most spirited community in America. If you go to the East Coast, like you go to Boston or Philly or, Alexandria, Virginia, DC, everybody always decorates at the holiday season. That obviously kind of starts from Halloween through the New Year's. I consider the holiday season basically Thanksgiving through the New Year. But out here, you have a lot of this atheist tech consciousness that it's just like, and the progressive liberal culture that just kind of hates everything American. I even noticed someone's Instagram post. I'll just say someone I used to know because there's no connection there in a friendship or anything. It's someone I used to know that I'm still connected to online. And she was just saying how she just is never a fan of the holiday. She spent it alone and stayed inside to prevent the spread of coronavirus and all that, attention baiting stuff. Um, which, that does work. If you're not going out, you're not going to spread anything. But anyways, it was just about how I'm not a fan of the holidays because American colonialism and all this stuff. And I understand that the history of America hasn't been nice. That's the thing about, and this girl has lived abroad and has traveled, and when you travel and live abroad, you notice that every country has gone through this. Living in Germany for about a year and a half, you have come to see how Germany really hit rock bottom in the 30s and 40s and with communism, and slowly came up with a modern, very well behaved culture. So, anyways, I don't think of connecting the holidays and stuff with guilt of the past. And where I'm going with this video is because Seattle has never been more spirited like other parts of the country. Let's just say the holiday spirit. I cannot believe like the 10 days going into Thanksgiving, I could not believe how many Christmas trees I've seen in people's houses and how many houses have lights. In this neighborhood that I've lived in for about 11 years, I've never seen anything so lit up before the holiday season, before Thanksgiving. I always get my tree. I love the holidays. I think it's great. I think it's a great time to reflect. It's to be happy. It's bringing light into the house in a time where darkness is gaining speed with, going into the winter solstice. And it has a lot of connections to obviously Christianity, but also paganism. So a lot of it is the connection to the energy of the land and embracing the season and bringing light and hearth and warmth into your home. And as much as people can hate Christianity and religion, Christianity has funded a lot of amazing things. So why is this video interesting or important? It's because during coronavirus, during this antisocial lockdown that we've had, people are craving for some happiness, some joy, and some spirit. It's part of our human DNA. It's part of our human DNA to be connected to the land, but also to other people. If you look at Christianity, any form of religion or spirituality, it's always the light versus the dark. And if you do look at something like Jesus versus the devil or Satan, Satan really does rule destruction not only, I guess collectively, but individually with self-destruction. Dark energy wants you to be alone. It wants you to be anxious. It wants you to cheat and be unfaithful. It wants you to have revenge. That's the whole thing with a ton of pagan religions, is that they were all about revenge. There was never forgiveness. And that's why even if people hate Christianity, some Christian teachings is so powerful because it teaches you forgiveness. And that's basically the root of your soul here on this planet, is to learn how to give and receive love, but also to learn how to forgive. Forgive yourself and forgive the others that hurt you. That is the most powerful form of love, is forgiveness. And that comes from a higher consciousness. And that is what God and source, or the divine, whatever the hell you want to call it, that's the point of trying to be here. It's to navigate, hell on earth. Well, you can have heaven on earth as well. You can make life to be heaven or hell on earth. But the point of what I'm trying to get at here is, the hardships that we have to go through our work, through people hurting us physically, emotionally, or spiritually, the shitty boss at work. It's all about forgiving. And it takes a lot of spiritual development to get to that. And, if you look at the lockdown, where unemployment has had a lot of issues throughout the entire country, you see that economic spending has been up. So even though a lot of people don't have money, they're still spending. Now, the spending might vary. Like I looked at a report that was saying, hygiene was up, things like cosmetics and sun care, like sunscreen, that spending was drastically down. Obviously, people are spending more money on groceries like toilet paper, just hygiene, hand sanitizer. So, but people are still spending money with consumerism. It might not be as much as before, but my point is, even if people have less money, they still want to have a bit of normalcy, because we live in a consumeristic society. Spending money and buying stuff makes you feel normal. I've gone through that numerous times. There's no vacation in 2020 for me out here. So the way that I've felt normal has been buying stuff, probably stuff that I actually kind of don't need, and just, making yourself feel normal. So the point of people gravitating toward Christmas trees, I got mine yesterday on Sunday, and I was talking to the tree guy at the lot. And he was just saying, he's like, I think people are really in need of some extra holiday spirit this year, because he's like, we've sold so many Christmas trees so far. And generally, like, the spike of their sales are probably within, this time frame of the end of November through probably the first week or two in December. And I think that's just a subconscious indicator. You look at the trends, look at what people are doing. If people are spending money, it could be because they're bored. I think some of it has to do with feeling a bit of normalcy, because you do get an emotional high from shopping. And it's that kind of hedonic treadmill. That's why materialism and consumerism can be so toxic to spiritual growth, because we are so wrapped up in the material world, and it constantly gives you that high. You get a new sweater, or a new skateboard, or a new car. You get high from it, and then eventually the high wears off, and it's kind of like, and then you need the next high, and then you get the new thing. So shopping addicts, a lot of people who I've met throughout my training career, personal training career, the ones who were single in their 40s, they actually shopped a lot more than a lot of people I knew, because they didn't have anyone to spend their money on, and they were alone, and that's what they did to kill time. So with the amount of Christmas trees and the amount of lights, I cannot believe, I was blown away by by even the 15th to like the 23rd. I've never seen so many lights up this early, but yet also in the neighborhood. So I wonder if more people are putting up Christmas lights. And that to me is just an indicator that people want a bit of joy and happiness in their life. And maybe the Christmas lights, it brings some joy and warmth into the home. Maybe it's a form of escapism. But people want that, and they're craving it. So I think this is a big learning lesson, that the new normal is not normal. It's really not. It breeds more psychopathy and narcissism and sociopathy. The dark triad, when you start looking at human psychology, I'm going to do a separate video on this, but all of it's about being so cold and detached, and that's a lot of the dark energy of Aquarius, and being warmth and just gravitating toward love and happiness and hope. Those are all things that root to some form of faith or religion or spiritual teaching. That's the normal that has been bred into the human DNA for thousands and thousands of years, to hope and want or desire to have a better future for yourself, for your future kids, and all that. So it's that tech consciousness that is really getting bred into us, especially during this lockdown, which some of it works to help prevent the spread of a disease, but it's also a great tool to use to control and rewire the human population to be more robotic. Humans aren't gravitating toward robotics. Obviously, if they're super different, they are. But normal people or natural living people don't gravitate toward a robot or a laptop. They gravitate toward human kindness and human warmth and helping and giving as well as receiving. So anyways, I've never seen so many Christmas trees. I'm seeing more and more. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'd be curious to know if your local neighborhood has had similar experiences. All right, have a great day. Happy holidays, the start to you, or happy start to your holidays to you and your family, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.